to you still watching Westlife Television, waking up to us. This is the Kokoliriko live show that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays with me, Farish Majid, and today is the first edition of the week, and that tells us that it is a Monday, and today is the 12th of February. From wherever you're watching us from, I want to take this opportunity to really welcome you on board, and this is a show that definitely will have an impact on you, and it's always good to really wake up and start off your day with us. And this is Westlife Television channel 0073 on Zuku. And for those of you also streaming us online, you're most welcome to this show. And remember, you can also be part of the show, and really also by just sharing your comments on the various feedback generating platforms where we did see so many things. And remember, on Mondays, what we do is basically we bring you highlights to some of the insights and give you insights on maybe some of the topics that really transpired right from Friday, because really we stop on Fridays, and on Fridays we really don't have time really to also come back and give you. And what we do is make a compilation of all that is from the week, from the Friday, and we also do the weekends and Monday. And this is where we really also start off your day and really also let you know of what is happening in and around West Nile sub-region and the entire country. Not forgetting the world. Also, we really also sometimes do discuss issues that happen internationally, and this definitely is the show that you need not to miss, because definitely it is one that will have an impact on you since every Mondays and Fridays, and this is what we do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. My name is Farish Majid once again, and I want to take this pleasure now to really welcome you on board from wherever you are watching us from. For those of you watching us within West Nile sub-region, I do very, very much appreciate you. For those catching us all the way from Lango, I also very, very much welcome you on board. Not forgetting those in Acholi, I also similarly do appreciate and welcome you on board. Not forgetting also those in central Uganda and those in eastern, not forgetting the other parts of the country. I really want to welcome you on board. And not forgetting also those catching us in the other parts of East Africa, in the Middle East and overseas. I do very, very much appreciate and welcome you on board. Not forgetting my sisters and brothers, those are catching us in the Middle East, the parts of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the rest. We really do appreciate you, because each and every morning, most of you really be part of the show, and really I do understand that you feel great because you get to know what is happening way back in West Nile sub-region, and that is the reason as to why you must not really miss, that is the Kokoliriko live show. And remember, this is where we are going to also going to be discussing a lot of issues. In the second hour, we shall be joined by that Zochaki Peace, one of the journalists. But now I want to take this pleasure now to start off your day. And this is the Kokoliriko live show where so many things did happen over the weekend. Remember, that was on Friday, we did have Arua district joining Uganda and commemorating the 38th NRM Liberation Day, which was actually, that was on the 26th of January, but Arua district had to postpone for reasons I do not know. But yesterday, that was on Friday, they did come now to celebrate this day, and this was at the Eruba Primary School, which to me now is the neutral ground, and this is what most of the district leaders have said, because they say this school is at the district, it's at the center of the district. That is why most celebrations now for Arua district have been held, that is at the playgrounds of Eruba Primary School. Because really, if you look at so many events that have been going there, you realize that most of them have been actually taking place here. Maybe that is because of the neutrality of the ground, because they say this ground is on the neutral area, and most of the things that do happen here really it is because they look at a neutral ground where so many people from different places could come. If you look at Arua district, really it is a district that is also not small, because look at the sub-counties, all of them have to converge. That is at Eruba School. It makes it very easy. That is for those coming all the way from the city, because if you also look at our events, those that is for Arua district and Arua city are in most cases held together, because events that are for Arua district, you see leaders from Arua city joining, and then you look at events of Arua city, similarly you also see district leaders from Arua district joining, which is to me something that we really need to keep on going. We need to keep on with that harmony if we are really to ensure development. Remember, Arua district is the mother district of all these districts, and so many of them actually have been carved, that is out of Arua district. If you really mention so many districts, you mentioned so many names out of which they were created out of Arua district. So that is why also sometimes we need to respect our mothers. That is why maybe when you see also events for Arua district, you see representatives from Arua city, and this one of Liberation Day, we also did see leaders coming all the way from, that is the DRC. And remember, we have also so many Lubaras living in the parts of the DRC, and that is why maybe we are seeing also them coming for these events. And that is where we also did see so many leaders coming for this event. We did see the security leaders, both from the UPDF, the police, the prisons attending this event. We also had the political leaders, the technocrats, all coming together, and really, which I believe is for the good cause. Because if you look at really this, you realize that so many things are now happening, because if you look at this event now, it attracted so many leaders, and this is where people need to come together and also really use this time to actually echo the messages, because it attracts all people of work, or it attracts people from all walks of life. You look at the ordinary people, they come, the politicians, they come, the rich men are there, the business community, the clergy, all of them are brought together to celebrate this day. That is why sometimes such gatherings can actually be used to really, to disperse several messages. For instance, the message that is in the socio-economic drive the government is talking about during such engagements, which I believe could actually be used to really echo out these messages, that would also really have an impact. Because if you look at really these gatherings, sometimes we do not know maybe what channel, maybe what message, what kind of channel to use, and that is why we see them failing. But now, if we are to really to use such kind of methods, or maybe such gatherings to deliver information, where all people are there, we have the students or the pupils also coming together, then the message that would want to be extended would actually reach a broader group of people. So I think that is why sometimes also we need to ensure that we really utilize such gatherings to really disperse several messages. And remember, with so many bad things happening, the religious leaders could actually use the same message also to the same crowd also to really disseminate that message that they want, which to me is against right now the issues of witchcraft, which are currently very much high. If really religious leaders could use these such gatherings, to me, it would also really maybe scare away so many people. And now if they are to really to use also this message to discourage people from engaging in such practice, and then definitely they would also really listen to them very much. Because sometimes people very much listen to the religious leaders than the other leaders. So I think that is why it is always important for really these religious leaders now to really also ensure that they really also be part of the message campaign, because if the messages are not spread wide, and then definitely that would also really have a negative impact on the society, because the society will continue doing the bad things that they really talk about. And remember, this Liberation Day is actually celebrated, that is to really to honor, that is the NRM, for the struggle that really they did put forward to see to that they really launched, that is again the struggle against the other regimes that were in place. So I think this Liberation Day is actually celebrated to celebrate how the NRM captured power. So I think this is where so many districts actually did come in to celebrate theirs. Now our road district had to postpone, and really also we did see them now celebrating it last Friday. So I think this was quite good, and we really do appreciate the leaders of that area for really ensuring that this day is a success, like how we did see it taking place yesterday. Now with that, really we are going to be running for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to really continue with the conversion from there. But for now, allow me running for a short commercial break. Please do not touch that dial, and we return back shortly from now. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. AFCON!
All 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial break. This is still the Kokoliriko live show with me, Farish Majid, and definitely we are still continuing with you up the hour of 9 a.m. and now being joined by Ochaki Peace. And really, before I bring him on board, I want to really welcome you in a special way to really introduce yourselves to the viewers, maybe who will be watching for the very first time. In the first hour, in the first 30 minutes, you're not around really where we started the discussions, but now you have just joined us. You're most welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, Farish Majid. Farish Majid, you know, the experience and the excitement is too much. You have just joined a new month. I may say happy new month. That is the month of love.
But today the month is now. No, this is actually the day. Is it why you are donning on red? Because today is the
I'm donning on red, and today is 12. So meaning 12, we are left with some just 2 days.
One day.
One or 2 days to reach the real month of red, and that's what I'm donning on.
But
red.
If I can be able to ask, what is the significance of this day? Because me, I've never celebrated it, and I don't think even if I'll ever celebrate in my day. How often do you celebrate this day, and what does it mean to you?
I don't know if you don't know the significance of this day, because that is the month of Feb. It's month of love, whereby you have to show love for each other. And as the day is coming, and it is always very significant, because now it has like 3 sections of the love. We have the cultural celebration, we have the religious celebration, and also we have the other kind of love. You people, the youths of this day, you know very well. But in real sense, it was supposed to it was supposed to be, that is, bringing yourself together. If you have ever been having your enemies, at least you need to forgive each other and You celebrate the Valentine's in style. Someone may not be understanding what you're talking about. You're talking about the Valentine's Day, which is on the way coming, and very soon we shall tell you the details because today is still the earliest day. But all in all, a very good morning to all the viewers of Kokoliriko. Starting up Monday, lively like this, it is a good one. And for those of you who are already at their workplaces, it's a good one. That's the thing we have to do. You have already introduced my name, but you have also left one name.
That is Jalosiga.
That is Jalosiga,
Anyways,
the most important
that
name.
is Peace Ochaki, also known as Jalosiga, and that is what he thinks about Valentine's Day. And I must say, this is actually the very day that you would also be able to know if you are a side chick, because for those of you who are side chicks, definitely you may not be able to receive the gifts or the flowers that we're talking about, because Valentine's Day, usually we see people celebrating it by giving out flowers. But I must say, if you're also my lover, definitely do not expect flowers or do not expect any gift, because it is haram. Usually we say this day is haram. I don't know how you think about it. But now for us, this is not being stingy. This is not being stingy, because somebody may be saying, I'm doing that because I'm stingy. But honestly, I do not celebrate this day, and to me, it is not acceptable. I do not really celebrate, so do not expect for flowers from me. I don't know how prepared you're going to buy rose flowers.
No,
and the ladies are saying, for them, they do not want this kind of artificial flowers. They want natural flowers, the roses.
If you say Aram, you may be right, but also don't forget, it is a month for showing love. Mostly, if you are to buy a gift, you buy a gift to someone who is in need of it. We call them needy people. And for the Christians, it's also coming mostly it is coming at a good month whereby you need to offer something for your friends, not necessarily a flower, because even me myself, up now I've still failed to understand the main purpose of giving someone a flower. You're going to buy an expensive flower of maybe 50,000, which will just even go off. Now, why can't you use that flower? Or why can't you use the 50,000 at least to buy something to someone who is in urgent need of something? If you take 50,000, you can even buy, that is a cassava flour, you give to someone who's right there in the village, and you get more blessing. And that's where at times we fail to understand the significance and the meaning of these days. It is to give to the needy people, not necessarily to buy flowers. So
the lovers.
No. By the way, they say Valentine's. It's a day, anyone can be your Valentine if you don't know. It is not that your girlfriend or your boyfriend. In fact, it's not for the boy lovers or for the girl lovers, but it is for everyone. It is a day to appreciate. You show love to one another. You can even decide to buy a gift and to give it to your mother or to your father. That is also part of celebrating the Valentine. So I urge you, like Parish Wajid, let's start celebrating this day by giving to people who are in need.
Unacceptable. Anyways, leaving that discussion in relation to Valentine's aside, now I want to make some which may be worrying to you. I don't know why, but really so many things are happening. If you really know what is happening in the country, so many things are happening now. But I must say there's excitement now among the fish traders. This follows after their truck that we arrested, that is at Elegu, and one at Pakwach we are released, and this comes after comforted efforts by the leaders of this region. Now, I must say, where we did see our leaders uniting, starting right from the number of members of parliament. We did see the RDCs also coming together to see that these women receive the trucks, because if you look at really how these people were these trucks were being impounded, I must say it was something that was really quite scary, and really something that was bad, because most of these trucks were arrested under unclear circumstances, and most of these women actually came out to really condemn this act. And they said, we are the ones really looking for our families through this fish, because this fish helps us a lot. And in the markets, it is employing us. It is where we get our livelihoods from. It is where we get our survival. And it's also where we get school fees for our children. And now our fish, which was arrested now, I must say, it is now coming to a month, because the other trucks were arrested 3 weeks ago. And this led to a riot. That is where the women came and camped. That is the mayor's gardens, and where they were storming that is the office of, that is the RCC, demanding for an explanation why their fish could be impounded, because they say this fish is from South Sudan. And remember what the officers who actually arrested this were saying, they are using the Fisheries Act, which condemns, that is the trade in immature fish, which these people really did not believe in, and they said what they are doing is really against them, and it's not favoring them, and that is why they had so many challenges, and really concerns were raised here and there. But now we did see over the weekend also them getting these trucks, that is those that were arrested, that is illegal border points, and also those that we arrested, that the one that was arrested at Pakwach, because really the officer that arrested these things was denying and threatening not to really hand over this fish back to these women, and really protested and that he's going to ban this fish that really did not go well with these women who were almost stripping naked, and this was in riot until they had to be calmed down and they had to really also be advised, that is by the security leaders, and now they have gotten back their fish. I don't know what you think about that. Does it mean that they finally there's justice for these women, or maybe finally something good has been done to them? Because really for them not to get their fish back, and something that I must say they have been trading in, and maybe that could be the best business they know. Because really if you look at the socio-economic transformation drive that you're talking about right now, maybe calls for several maybe initiatives support to really engage in terms of ensuring that they trade in. We don't, it will not really need people to rely on maybe one kind of business, but rather where so many people will be engaged in several businesses. And for these women who are actually breadwinners in their families, who are best know fish trade, and for them they say there's no business for them that they know very well except this one of fish, because some of them maybe inherited this business. Because if you really look at these women that deal in this trade, most of them have actually inherited this business from their parents, and that is how they have been engaging and really getting something small for themselves. And now really, I also did not know if it was the Ugandan law officers to really impound this immature fish from South Sudan, because South Sudan maybe government cleared it, and how did it enter Uganda? And these women were actually accusing of that officer of extorting more than 3 million per truck from them. I don't know what you really think about this. Could it be that it is corruption that is being exhibited at the highest level? Could it be that there's something that maybe could be done to really see that these cases are avoided in the near future?
Thank you, Faris Majid. You all know in Uganda, we have the Fishery Acts, which is against, that is, dealing or trading in immature fish, and also the nets, which are not recognized by the officers. We all know they are there. If maybe in South Sudan they are accepting those things, you have to adjust, because you cannot find the same policy from one country to another. Uganda will have its own, then the other neighbors will have their own. But all in all, those business women and businessmen that have ever been to Uganda, they even know that dealing in immature fish are not allowed. But they also came out clearly to say, for them, they have followed all the rules and regulations and everything that is needed or required for them to deal in the fish. But now, you may find out of those 5 trucks impounded, it's not all of them that were carrying immature fish. Either 1 or 2 of them were carrying those immature fish. And necessarily, you may find even, it is just a sample. In a vehicle, you find out of maybe a full ton, not half of it is carrying immature fish. And that's a good goal. Impounding them for a while doesn't mean that the country is against their business, or it is against people dealing from the other side coming to Uganda. As I've said it clearly, economic transformations, it needs us to work together so that we can bring, that is, the economy, or we can bring some development to the country. But now, giving them back, it is like a sign of warning. They're trying to warn the fish dealers that next time, don't do this and that. And the action they took, I may say they were not wrong.
Because if I may
because they went to the relevant
authority.
authority.
Maybe engage you briefly, because some of these women actually did not know the kind of fish that they were dealing in. And most of them say they just gave in money, that is for their colleagues who are that side, to purchase for them this fish. And what they did is to hire these trucks. And remember, this is not the first time we are seeing woos by this, that is the fish dealers. We did see also the South Sudanese fish traders threatening, that is to move away from Arua City following such scenarios. And they really complained about such movements where they said the laws that are not favoring them, because recently trucks that had South Sudanese numbers were really bad from entering to Uganda, which was also not well with them. And now we are seeing these ones also having that, the Ugandan numbers. We didn't see the trucks. These are heavy trucks that really, I must say, these trailers, what we call these mugukumis, really carrying this fish were stopped. And most of them actually had the Ugandan numbers, and now we do not know how this could actually happen.
Now, Faris Majid, the authorities came out clearly to say those fish were immature. I remember...
It was not the authorities, no. It was one officer who came out and said...
That's the authority. Authority doesn't
but
mean
one
that
person
you have
could not really...
Yeah, one person can represent an authority. If they arrest you right now, they'll say they have arrested a staff of West Nile TV. Some people outside...
Will they say they have arrested West Nile TV?
Yeah, some people outside will say they have arrested West Nile TV because you are representing them. And if they represent... that is, the president is arrested, what will they say? That is the head of a state. They have arrested, that is him, the whole of the state. And probably now, if one officer can, do you want to tell me it was one officer who impounded all the 5 fish? I mean, all the trucks. It can't be one officer because it was at a border
So
point.
what do you think? What do you think could have been done before impounding this fish? Because most leaders, what we are saying is, URA or these enforcement officers could first of all engage these women, secondly, educate them, then enforce later.
Now, the question will come in. Do they have the guys who do inspections at the landing site?
That is the question.
Because
Uganda government maybe...
I was giving you that is a bit of that is experience. Some of us who grew up that is at the landing site, before fish getting out from the landing site, there are those who will do the inspections. They'll first inspect, are these fish really, do they qualify to go out of the lake shore? And it is not the first time. Because if those immature or the fish which are not to the standard are getting into the country Uganda, it means there's some loopholes, and automatically there is something, meaning you have gone for an illegal business. Because now, if you can come through with those kind of things to Uganda, there must be something wrong. But you have brought a good point of sensitization. Are they being sensitized enough? I will say yes. If those works are not for the women, or they are not for, that is the fish dealers, but it is for those who are at the authority, those who do the first inspections by the lake shore. If they are not doing that, it calls for, that is, a serious action. And those which were impounded, that is, in Pakwash or at Pakwash border point, how did they cross the border point? We have the illegal border point. How did they cross to this country called Uganda? Meaning still, there is something which is lacking right from the source of the fish, I mean from the lake to the border point of Elegu up to Pakwash. And also the ladies or the business women, let them try to follow up. Let them follow the right procedures for them to do in the business. Otherwise, we may see this kind of things happening.
It's not the first time these women may be engaging in this trade, because some of them, most of them have said they have been engaging in this business for quite some long time. And most of them have said they were actually raised on that is this business, and that is why they have been engaging in this. And it is the trade that they best know. And really, most of them actually said now the government is frustrating their efforts in doing this business by really coming up with these stringent laws that do not favor them. And really, that is something I felt that I needed also really to talk about, because they said this fish that is really being impounded is from South Sudan, but not from Uganda. For them, they said the Ugandan government had really put these laws, and they have been abiding by these laws. First of all, if you look at what is coming from Panyamur fish landing sites, now these people are not dealing in that immature fish, because for you to really move with this fish from Panyamur to really Arua City, definitely it is a tug of war, and really that is how they have been abiding, maybe also engaging in this fish from South Sudan. And now we are seeing these stringent laws also coming in place. Does this not really put a threat, maybe a risk for these people to pull away from this trade? And really, is it not going to push away or discourage so many women, most of whom we actually transformed through this fish? And really, if you look at these girls, mostly who are doing bad things, or these boys who engage in theft, they can really tell to you now they are being employed as brokers or maybe as loaders, where they are earning a lot of money for themselves. But now with such threats where they are getting really, imagine 3 weeks without fish stock. I don't know what you're going to really engage in, and then how you're going to really also take care of your families. And definitely, to me, that is one thing that could actually also pull these women away from this trade, and that definitely is going to impact greatly on their lives. And what do you think about this?
Yes, thank you very much. It will impact negatively on those people. I'm talking about the women or those who are dealing in the fish. But no law will always be a law. Law doesn't mind whether it will impact on you negatively or positively, as long as you are not following the law. If you have ever seen a lot of good things, a lot of good projects coming through, but the moment you hit against the law, they have the right, that is to terminate your contract and do other things. The thing is, they have stayed in Uganda for a while. Are they adapting to the law within Uganda? Let me take you with a simple example. If you go to our neighbor, Democratic Republic of Congo, you don't drive on the left-hand side. You drive on the right-hand side of the road. But if you from Congo, you come to Uganda, will you still drive on the right-hand side? No, you have to shift, and you have to go to the left-hand side of the country. So it is the same thing with the fish dealers. If maybe the other side, the law is not all that strict against, that is, the fish. Meaning in Uganda, we have the law, which is against it. And automatically it calls for, that is you adapting or trying to change from one system to another. You don't need to be rigid if you are to adapt well, or if you are to go and do your business somewhere else. And it's the same thing like your home state. You may be having your own rules and regulations. You allow your child to move freely while at home. But if the child goes to school, there are some rules which says by 7 p.m. all learners have to be at school. So they can't go with the home rules other than the other rules. So it is a good one, but still, the authorities, that is between Uganda and the South Sudan, they need to sit down together and, as I've said, they have to sensitize those people on what is happening, what is required of them. Are they having the license? That is one question you're asking. Because every import, everything that is coming within to Uganda, their license attached to them. And who are those people giving the license? That is the question. That if the business is to proceed well, or if it is to progress, let them sit down with the business and with the business people, and so they harmonize. Otherwise, if they pull back, you have said good. It is employing a lot of youths. It is giving, that is, access to the women. It is also bringing economy to the country Uganda. That's one thing. They have to sit down and sort themselves. Otherwise, we may see these things happening, and it is not the first time. It is continuing and continuing. The question is,
you talked about sensitization, and now today we are having a meeting that is at Desert Breeze Hotel, where we're expecting top leadership of that is Uganda Revenue Authority. We're also expecting the leaders of the city, starting that is from the MPs. We're also expecting Minister of Finance to really be part of this meeting here. And this meeting actually is also going to address, among other issues, the recent shootings that is at Desert Breeze. And now I don't know what you really expect really this meeting to also really be addressed, and maybe what you expect our leaders to put forward before this meeting that is going to be taking place today. That's at Desert Breeze, starting from 8 a.m. I really don't know what you think our leaders need to put forward, because our traders have been crying a lot when it comes to issues of taxes, where these women are saying at times they are being overcharged up to 3 million per truck, which to me is very, very high. And this also, the impact of this heavy truck fines, or maybe these heavy taxes, goes back to the final consumer, who is the buyer, and where the fish maybe price also go very high, and this puts off so many people from eating fish. And really, if you look at fish, maybe you are buying one at 6,000, a small piece at 6,500. So many people are not going to afford to buy fish, and that definitely is also going to really have an impact on their lives. And then also through the balanced diet we're talking about, because if they do not continue feeding on balanced diet, maybe fish through eating fish, and then definitely that is going to really greatly impact on them. We talked about sensitization, and now we are looking forward into this meeting that is really going to also address, among other issues, the recent shootings. And really, I don't know what you think our leaders need to front in this meeting here.
Thank you very much. Meeting with URA, those are law enforcers. Those are guys who deal with mostly paying taxes and dealing in good businesses. We have seen in West Nile, people have ever been sensitized. And of recent, that is, trucks were impounded carrying petroleum goods or products coming into the country, Uganda. And that's one thing we have totally failed to understand. And people here, we have failed to adapt to the new rules of, that is, avoiding in illegal businesses. And if they're coming through to meet with the leaders, it's a good one, and we pray those meetings, the leaders will take it down to the community, because some people will not have access to go and listen to what they're discussing live. But it is upon the leaders to now try moving. We have seen them coming up with, that is, community dialogues. And if you're a leader, at least you have to know, I know they're also going to pick some representatives from the various sectors, maybe from the market, they pick from this department, and they come to identify or to air out the problems or the issues that is affecting them. You have talked of high taxes. It is now for them to go and sit. And at times, people, we don't take this thing seriously. We are saying they're going to have a meeting, and the meeting is mostly to sort out some of these issues. And what are the issues we're talking about? Mostly, for them, they're going to talk about their own issues. That is, dealing in illegal businesses, petroleum, don't sell. That is something which is not allowed in the country. But all in all, the leaders, they also have to play their roles, because they know the problems people are going through. They are the mouthpiece of the people. These people, they may not have access to go and attend the meeting, or they may not have that zeal, the morale to go and ask. Because now we have seen the business people, we are talking about fishmongers, they are already moody. If they are to ask questions, they may put in some feelings which may not rhyme well with what is there. But
Okay.
all in all, let leaders stand tall and represent what other people were supposed to do. I know there are the issues, like you have talked about the fish, you have talked about impounding of, that is,
The
of,
killings
of
also.
the motorcycles, the killings, and all these things. It calls for the actions of the leaders to come and talk to the authorities on what to do. Otherwise, it is a good one and wait for the result. Automatically, we are going to be there, we pick some clips, then we come and highlight people.
Tomorrow.
Those who may not be in position to attend, or you may not have access to it, you have to give them the highlights. It's a good one. We hope for a positive impact, and we don't, I pray, let something which has been discussed from there be aired out to the people. Most times, people are good at listening, but giving it back to the community. Implementing it will become something different.
All right, that is it in relation to the URA meeting, and this is what I think, and maybe how I feel URA needs to really air out and really also work towards helping the masses. I pray if they can be able to find a lasting solution to the killings, because we have seen enforcement failing, and these brutal means have failed, where people are being shot here and there. Definitely that tells us that this has failed, and that is why I want to really call upon this meeting to have a fruitful discussion where we expect our leaders to front ideas that would also really push away Uganda Revenue Authority from the killings, because the killings have been there over time, but we have seen them not changing anything. And that definitely, I think, if they are really to address, maybe find new means to really curb down this issue of that is in relation to the smuggling, and then definitely if they also really be able to tell the young people maybe how best they can be able to also engage in other business activities that could actually lead them away from smuggling, which has been putting their lives at danger, that definitely would really find a solution to me. But for now, let's first run in for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we still have lots more to discuss with you. My name is Farish Majid. I'm together with Ochaki Peace, and we are still continuing with you up the hour. That's 9 a.m. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial break. This is still the Kokoliriko live show with me, Farish Majid, and today I'm with Ochaki Peace, and we are still going with you up the hour of 9 a.m. And remember, we did start the discussions right away from the hour of 7, where we did discuss so many things here and there with you, ranging from the fish that was really released. And remember, this really did not go well with the fish traders, where they did echo their voices here and there. We also did see so many other stories, and now we are continuing with you, that is with so many other topics, because on the morning updates comes with so many topics. And this is where we also give you insights maybe to some of the stories that could be trending on the other various media outlets. And we really do that each and every mornings from 7 a.m. up to, that is 9 a.m. each and every Mondays to Fridays. And my name is Farish Majid, I said earlier on, and I do very, very much want to appreciate that is Isaac Omakech watching us all day from California. I also do appreciate that is Toti Brian. And now we are to move on with the discussion. NRM has said President Museveni will be able to appear on, that is the ballot, come 2026. And according to the Secretary General, that is Richard Todong, the party is yet to find if the President Museveni has maintained that is peace and tranquility that needs to be maintained until there is really somebody that suits to really replace him. But at the moment, they see none. And that is something I must say. Yeah, I don't know what you think about it. With so many campaigns here and there, remember, so many pressure groups have been launched, where we did also see recently the MK movement rebranding, that is the Patriotic League of Uganda. Really, I don't know what you think about that, because really, so many people are saying he's also going to be on the ballot come 2026. And he actually, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is the son of, that is the president of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And he did actually launch, that is the Patriotic League of Uganda officially now with its headquarters, that is in Naguru, one of the suburbs in Kampala. And I don't know what you really make of that. You will be able to talk to us about that. And now the party has said they are going to front, that is His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni 2026 to be part of that is the ballot again, because at the moment they see nobody to replace him, because if they are to really leave the steering wheel needs to be handed over to a driver who suits. But at the moment, what NRM is saying is that they see nobody, despite all these campaigns that have been launched. Remember, so many pressure groups have been launched, and all of them actually may be eyeing, that is the replacement of this next government, where we see so many people have been launching, that's the MK movement, where so many people thought this is actually going to be the replacement of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, where we also did see, that is the campaign groups of Tova Kumeini, other people actually saying that the president needs not to leave, that is the power. And this is where we did see them also really talking very much about this. I don't know what you think about this, what you really make of the NRM saying that the President Museveni will be able to join, that is 2026. And I don't know if you really believe that the statement that there's nobody who really suits to replace him at the moment. I don't know what you think about that.
Thank you, Farish Majid. When you're talking about that is His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, it is not something new. It is not a news, because everyone at least expected that is His Excellency the President to come back and continue, because they have seen some potential in him. If maybe they're saying there's no one who's capable of replacing him right now, it seems they have seen something. But we all know when an elder is growing up, at least he has to be grooming someone. Maybe he's also grooming someone underground, but that he doesn't want to declare it right now, because we all know if he is to declare that person, people will say, now why can't you allow that one to go through? Most people, how many people have been expecting that is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba to be the predecessor, but he has decided not to go with that, meaning someone is being groomed
by the General Kainerugaba is still a serving general,
yes,
and where we cannot see him actively engaging, that is in politics, and maybe he could be able to really engage, that is after the retirement, which we don't see at the moment, because really we expect him to retire, and really if it's to declare his intention officially now, because at the moment what the Patriotic League of Uganda is doing is just a pressure group. We have so many in West Nigeria. We have the MK who call themselves the MK group. We didn't see them also relaunching now. Also, when the other side relaunched, we have also seen them rebranding.
But
that is the Patriotic League of
now
Uganda, Western Wing.
We are seeing in Uganda the trends are changing. Someone will start from a pressure group. For me, I'm just a pressure group. I'm just not even a political party. But at the end, you get surprised to see that it has turned out to be a political party. So that is the way people are trying to maneuver through to the political atmosphere of Uganda. Because if you have to come out openly and say, I've opened my own party, you may not be recognized. You first come through, you bring people that is to get used to you, that you can also be somewhere there. Not necessarily you are a politician, but at the end, you find yourself launching it officially as a political party. And getting back to that is the NRM declaring officially that President Museveni will be, that is the new presidential contestant for 2026. It is a good one because now people still see him as having the potential, and they say once you have built in a positive legacy, that thing will not die in you. But now maybe they have seen, were there some people who came out openly saying maybe they want to go for primary election again? We have not
we have seen people having that intention. We have often seen it when the NRM is having elections. We have often seen this happening. And not only with the NRM, we have seen it happening, that is also with the rest of the political parties, where people show intentions really to also come up with this. And really, he is open. And we know the president of Uganda, he has actually been that open, and he has said NRM is a party for all.
Yes.
And that is where we have been seeing this happening. And recently, this call was made by Todom as saying that the NRM is going to front, that is Musei. And so many campaigns, I think for those who are really launching this campaign of Jaja Tova Kumain must be very happy now that now the intention has been declared clear that in 2026 we are going to have Musei with the Kofia back on the ballot paper.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Those things,
but now the question I'm asking myself, when we really also see maybe the other pressure groups, you talked about people starting off these political parties at times as these just pressure groups. We did see National Unity Platform starting as a pressure group. For them, they say they're a pressure group called Power. And we did also see them rebranding and now becoming National Unity Platform and now becoming a political party. And are we really expecting, if we are to expect also really the MK movement, now the Patriotic League of Uganda, rebranding to a political party also, won't we really see conflict there? Maybe could the son, are we not going to say scenario, maybe a father and a son being on the same ballot paper?
It is a bit conflicting, but it is right. In Uganda, you have rights to almost every right. You have political rights, you have rights to religion, you have rights to your belongings. So if a son is coming through to start up a pressure group and he decided to upgrade it to a political party, it is not a crime. It will now be upon, that is, the voters or the supporters to see where you belong. You may see something which is different in the son, of which that the father cannot do. And also you may see something which is different from the father's side. It gets back to the family. If the father can allow his son to go and contest against him, that shows that he has seen that the son cannot defeat me. But by surprise, you know, politics are always things which are determined by people. And now, the conflicts will come through. If the son goes through to defeat the father, what will be the reaction of the father towards the son's achievement? That is a big one. But for supporters, it is something good. You have the right to choose who to go with. Now, it's a good one. Maybe we are all waiting that, will the son really contest in primary against the father? He decided not to go for that.
That's what you're waiting to see.
So they were saying that maybe if they were to go for primary during, that is the NRM, it will cause more conflicts. And they have decided to first hold on and start with these pressure groups. And you're still giving time for the father, waiting maybe for the father to declare after some time that, my son, you can now free. You can contest me, I'm retired.
Yes.
But all
you
know,
know,
it's a good
most
one.
who are now subscribing to this pressure group are part of people of NRM. We have seen them really joining hands here and there and becoming part of this. And we've also seen maybe other members from the opposition groups also being part of this. Remember, you have freedom. The Ugandan law provides for you to really associate freely with any other group that you feel you want to join. And if you really want to join any political party, it is your opinion. You can join any. You are not stopped by anybody to really join any political party of your interest. So that is what the Ugandan government is saying. And we are still following up on that discussion come 2026, which is not very far. And now we're in 2024. And really politics, as I said some time back, within this period, this is where you start seeing politics actually playing its part now. For those politicians who are being dormant, this is where you see them in their constituencies really very actively engaging with their voters. And for those who also are in the positions, this is where you see them very active in the constituencies, and where you are seeing people avoiding unnecessary travels. And we are seeing this happening, and that shows you that 2026 is not very far. And definitely, if there's any development in that area, we shall be able to also really come back and tell you when the right time comes. And now moving away from that discussion about the NRM candidate fronting 70, that is in 2026, And now let's move to the Law Development Center Court, which has really charged the General Manager of Critical Care Solutions, a company that deals in the supply of specialized equipment, with fleecing Makerere University Hospital of shillings 200 million in an oxygen machine. Lilian Muhire, the general manager of the company, was arraigned before the Chief Magistrate Martins Chiria on charges related to obtaining goods by false pretense, contrary to the section that is 305 of the Penal Code Act. And really, I don't know what to think about that. This was read against really a woman engaging in this fraudulent business, which constitutes really amounts to, that is 200 million Ugandan shillings. I don't know what you think about that. Does it mean that the world is really getting out of hand, really, where we see now? You know, fraudsters used to be men, for us people whom we knew for engaging in this, most whom we call as conmen, because fraud is actually where these conmen, also this group of these conmen or conwomen lie in. I don't know what to think about this, because 200 million really is a huge amount of money that was really involved in supply of an oxygen plant, which to me was quite good, because it was going to help so many people. Because if you look at this country, really, where we see people complaining of lack of these oxygen machines, then definitely somebody is really engaging in that fraudulent activity. Then that makes me raise questions, maybe alarms in my mind. What is really happening? What do you really make of this?
It's a big concern. It's a very big concern. As I've said, those years we used to know that it is men. Even the language says it, con men. It is supposed to be men to be dealing in those kind of businesses. But now we are seeing also women and ladies getting involved. It is very disappointing. And mostly, if you can go through, they say, what a man can do, a woman can do so. But then they have now updated it, that what a man can do, a woman can do better, even by 2 times. It's not good. Though the economy is hard, but at least we need to do some follow-ups. Now, calling people up to that big amount of money, and you are supposed to supply something which is sufficient, something which is reliable, and at the end you're supplying those kind of things. It is not something good, and probably we need the court to take its course up to the last point. We don't allow those kind of things to happen, but you may find it is not the first time someone to reach an extent of that is conning a big institution like that.
And look at the amount, 200 million.
It is 200. You find that is now an experienced person who has ever been dealing with those kinds of business. But
so where do you think the gaps could have been? Because if you really look at the procurement departments, most of the governments have been actually raising concern about the procurement office. Most people saying that these offices definitely is where corruption really is top. And this is where there is no transparency. Even if you look at all the procurement departments, could it be that most procurement officers are lacking, that is maybe the criteria, the right criteria of really giving out this contract? Could it be that there's a gap maybe when it comes to the procurement officers? Or really, where is the problem coming in? Because I want to have an understanding of maybe how a big institution of that caliber can be conned of that huge amount of 200 million. Really, you really look at this, and now the person whom we suspect, because you are proven, until you have to proven guilty, she's yet a suspect. And really, I don't know what you think about this. Could it be the gap could be coming from that is the procurement department, or there are some individuals who are really just negligent with that when it comes to giving out government projects, or maybe also really procuring this equipment?
Thank you. The gaps may be there, but we all know the procedures which are followed when you are trying to procure something. There's something which is called, that is bid proposal. You go and apply for bids that I want to be supplying you with this and this and that. And it is the procurement officers, as I've said, that the ones who go through the bidders who are eligible to apply or to supply the bids. Meaning, what do you consider before you granting someone the permission or the authority to supply you? You have to trace back to the roots of the person. Has he ever been a reliable bidder? Has he ever supplied some company with this kind of product we are trying to deal in with the person? And if yes, what are the evidence? What are the papers or documents to show that the person has been dealing in that? If the person has been a clean record, automatically you will consider that person, and you have said it clearly, there may be something lacking. Either it is corruption or there was some agreement which didn't go right. But I will now blame also the institutions. They have the procurement committee who first peruse through to check details of the bidders, someone to supply. And here we're talking about something which is not of maybe 2,000 or 1,000, but it's 200 million. What is the loss that is being caused to the institution? It is something so bad. but also they have to trace back and look at the procurement committee of the institutions. What went wrong? What did they do? What did they not do to make sure those kind of things happen?
What should be done to avoid such scenarios maybe in the long run? Because these are cases that we continue maybe identifying with each and every week. We are every day, in fact, we are reporting cases. If you really look at where it comes from, you realize that even most projects, not only this, even government projects, for instance, these contracts that are awarded for people to really do buildings, for those who involved in the road sector, we are seeing so many of these problems coming each and every day. And really, what should be done for government to really ensure that they put an end to this mess that is really involved as a procurement department?
Thank you. Here we are talking about that is government institution being con of that kind of money. And it gets back, I have said it, it is the procurement committee. Are you having a reliable committee? If yes, then what is happening? If no, they have to be, should I say demoted, or their contract should be cancelled. They have to be rendered jobless, meaning they may cause more, that is financial loss to the company or to the institutions. And right deep down also we are seeing some of the procurement committees. And it all goes back to people who are at the top, people who are awarding the contracts. Do they follow the right procedures in giving the contracts to the people, or they just give it for the sake of maybe money or some connection between them? All in all, they have to go and look for reliable people who can supply quality, not quantity of the work being done. You have seen that is various government projects, as I've said, the health centers, the hospitals. Someone will construct a house, a site of which it will stay like for 2 months. You find it's already developing cracks. It is not the first time.
It's dilapidated.
We saw that
without even being used, because we have scenarios where we see inspection.
We saw there was a contract awarded to Pakwasha Center. To Panimura Center 3. But now, even before the project was officially commissioned, there were already cracks coming up through. So these are the kind of things we need to follow up. We need to go for procurement committee who are independent, who don't overrely on money.
Finally, on that line to this, what we're discussing, what do you think needs to be done to such firms that are really involved in these scam businesses that we are talking about? Because this is really something that needs not to happen. What should be done to these people already who are engaged maybe in these fraudulent activities? Because some of them are known. These are businesses that are known. We see them quite continuing to really receive these projects, really also winning these bids. Really, what needs to be done to them so that we really also avoid maybe people being able to avoid themselves engaging in this trade, maybe also in this scamming business in the long run?
The question is, are those people having license? Do they have the operating license?
Sometimes they do, yes.
If they do have, let them just withdraw the license from those kind of people, and then we'll allow things to run normally. Because if they have the license, but they're still continuing with those fraudulent activities of theirs, they will cause more financial losses. All in all, they have to be disqualified once to get someone who is not competent enough to supply something of quality. Someone who's bringing loss to the country or to the government. You have to withdraw the license and disqualify that company once and for all. And if possible, you also disqualify the individuals. You ban the person from dealing in such kind of activities. Right now, we have a lot of people who want to supply those equipments, but are they worthy? They are not worthy. And it also goes back to the connection between the various committees we have in those institutions. Are they really connecting with themselves? Because we cannot have only the procurement committee, maybe the chairperson. They have also the inside committee, the subcommittee within themselves, meaning the whole team have to be blamed. Otherwise, you find it is one person dealing in that, and these other ones are just dormant. In some business language, we say they're just quasi. They're just there by names. They don't participate actively. But outside, they're visible. Yet inside, they're not visible. So they need to go for people who can connect with them well, who can communicate with them well, and understand what it means to follow the right procedures to get these procurements. Otherwise, we are going to see these people who are not competent. The procurement and the suppliers, they will continue supplying these days, of which it pays bad image to these companies.
All right, we are yet following up on that story, and now we want to first put a closer to that as we continue following on that topic. And really, if there's any development in relation to that, definitely we shall be able to certainly come and let you know what is happening, and that definitely is the reason why you need to watch the Kokoliriko live show each and every mornings. That is from Mondays to Fridays, starting off from the hour of 7 a.m. and heading to the hour of 9 a.m. And we are still continuing with the discussion. Remember, the AFCON did come to a closer yesterday. Really, where we did see maybe some people getting shocked because really the team that they expected could win did not win, and where we also did see some people getting excited because the team that they knew would win actually did go on to win. And definitely I will be able to really let you know what transpires in line to that maybe in the end of the show, and that definitely is the reason why you need to be part of the show, because we give you insights to all, because really we do not exclude anything out. We give you what is happening each and every sector, and then definitely today we shall be able to also really summarize with sports. And remember, in the Premier League, there were also games where we did see some teams really smashing others, and definitely we shall be able to really give you the results of those games. But now, the Permanent Secretary of that Ministry of ICT, Dr. Zawede Amina, has announced that starting in the next financial year, certification will be mandatory for all government employees in ICT-related positions. This decision was made during the second Joint Coordination Committee meeting for the UJ Connect project held in Kampala in collaboration with the Japanese International Cooperation Agency. So that means that really each and everybody who is involved in the ministry, that is civil servant, will have to really have the knowledge in the ICT. I don't know what you think about that, because some of these government employees actually at times also lack knowledge that is in ICT related. So I think with this new development, they are going to be forced to really be part of the literacy in terms of ICT. Definitely they will have to be ICT literate. So she highlighted the professional nature of IT careers and the increasing demand for certified personnel in the industry. To bridge this gap, the government plans to establish that is a center for excellence under the Uganda Institute of Information and Communication Technology to offer specialized training and certification. So regarding the UJ Connect project, launched in July 2023, Dr. Zawede emphasized its role in emphasizing existing programs and upgrading teachers to align with the current trends. The project aims to strengthen Uganda's ICT industry, and that is through policy support, human resource development, business matching, and mentorship. So I don't know what you think about this, really, where each and every civil servant will have will be required to have knowledge in ICT, because really, if you look at what is happening right now, we are living in a global world where really without ICT also life may be difficult for you. And remember, with its own positives and negatives, regardless, we need to really have that is knowledge that is in relation to ICT. And now Ministry of ICT is saying each and every servant will have to be that is having knowledge of ICT. I don't know what you think about that.
It's a good move. It's a good one. If you try moving to those offices, they go to those top offices.
In most cases, the secretaries who are ICT literate.
But it's good to employ secretaries. There are some documents which needs you to type by yourself. Though you are the boss, it needs you to type. And it's not by surprise. There are some... Should I call them what?
Somewhat.
There are some top officials who doesn't know even how to switch on and off a computer. So how will you connect if we are to do something? And we are seeing in the current generation, people are trying to go away from that is direct calls. We are seeing people going through that is the Zoom meetings, and people, there are things which needs you to type by yourself, and some of these things may happen at a time when even your secretary has already gone home, or you are someone who's in the office. If you can't operate your own, that is computer, that is a very bad one, because we have seen even in secondary, they're trying to introduce ICT as being something which is compulsory. It's no longer optional as it used to be. Right now, they're bringing more of practical.
But,
you have to know how to use computer.
But if I may be able to ask you briefly, do you see maybe any possibility of somebody living as a computer illiterate in this era?
Yes.
Well, a computer illiterate in this period?
There is a high possibility. We are saying...
Because with the coming of phones, these are all computers.
We are seeing it happening, but you know, people have different understanding of what it means. You may be having all the knowledge of using a phone, but there are some components inside a computer which is different from the phone. Most youths of these days, they're not specifically to go and learn those other things. They're mostly about the social medias. But when we're talking about computers, it has a lot of components. It have there are so many things, like if you are going to type, we have the Excel. So
which could actually be an opportunity for
Excel is different from
this project we're talking
time.
about also targets that is more than 2,000 youths who can actually be part of this training. Remember, skilling is something that the government of Uganda is talking about, because really, for people to really continue being with that unemployment rate, somebody who could actually use the computers we have simple earning from the phones that they have. It is just the power. They need connection to the internet alone. That is why government has been striving very much to really give internet to these people, and that is why if you move most of these urban centers, you realize that the government is putting that's the internet through what we see as NITA, so many of these investments. That is actually to really engage and also to really empower the population. And this target is targeting more than 2,000 youths. And somebody could just be earning that is little money to sustain themselves through the ICT. And remember the new curriculum also that you talked about is also really having the component of ICT, where some of the learners who are engaging this somebody could learn the PowerPoint presentation, do the research through the computers, and then definitely that would also really be something for them to earn themselves in. And really, what do you think about this? Is it the way to go for people to really get skilling in the computers? Because really, without computers now, it is going to be a reality. I must say this. It's going to be difficult for you to live in this era that is really upcoming without computers, or really without the knowledge of the computer. That is why we are seeing, despite the negative disadvantages that we're talking about, because this has also come with its negative impacts, which you will be able to really explain to us, and maybe in the later on hour. But what do you really think about this? What do you really feel? Do you really feel this compulsory move for people to really have this ICT knowledge is the way to go?
It is a good one. We are moving away from analog world. We are going digital. These days, it is not like those old days whereby you go to, that is, post office, you write letters, you drop them there, you go to public offices, it is the phone, it was public phone whereby you just go and line up. These times around, we are seeing things turning out to be computerized. And that is where we are going to see, maybe if possible, some people will even get to lose their jobs. And I still doubt if that thing could work, because they have brought in a lot of things. Let me take you a bit off. You have seen that is the teacher's policy of upgrading, that at least every teacher should have some level of education. It was implemented, but that thing up now has totally failed to come through, though it is there somewhere, but they are extending it step by step. And most of these things, it will affect those who are almost at their retiring age. Because if you look at the people who started leadership sometimes back, they were not literate enough with the computers, phones were not there. And one thing, trying to adjust someone who has already grown up, it is something so hard. Trying to teach someone who is around 60 years from the start of opening computer on and off, it becomes hard, because people always say when a tree grows up and it is bent,
it becomes very difficult to tame it.
It is very hard and difficult to tame it or to straighten it. And the moment you force it, you automatically break it. And we hope those people who started their work those days when they were still in analog world, they don't break up. Because if you are to force them to learn these computer tricks, it will automatically break them down. Someone is already stressed, someone is used to doing these things analog, but you're forcing the person to start right from zero. It is so hard. But if it is possible, let them come up with a certain age group whereby people who are just completed their institutions, I'm talking about the freshers, they're the ones who can easily adjust to these things, because they're used to, that is, using of the phone, the smartphones, which is mostly connected and is closely to the computers. So those people who start a long time, it won't work for them. But these other new ones who are coming up, it can work. If possible, let them set a target maybe of 2030. That's when we're going to start implementing, when most of these ones have already retired. And if it is in that case, it will work. But if they are to force each and every one, I doubt that thing will not work.
Okay, that is in relation to the computer knowledge that we're talking about. Really, I must say also that is something that is coming with its negative repercussions. And the artificial intelligence is one that is actually going to be very, very much dangerous, which is also going to put so many people off the employment market. So I think that is something that we are worried of. And recently, I must say, we did see the international community coming up with laws They want to actually have laws where everything needs not to be done by artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence need not to really rule everything, because this is why the law came in place. Because really, if that is not the case, so many people are going to develop ideas that are going to really push away so many people from that is being employed, and really everything is going to be done by the computers under the artificial intelligence, where a job that could be done by, that is 5 people, is now going to be done by one who is actually going to be there to control the computers, and that would also really be very, very dangerous. We are talking about the issue of artificial intelligence right now. If you look at cameras now, many cameras are now pushing off many people who are employed as guards, and that is one dangerous thing I must tell you about the computers. Also the artificial intelligence that we're talking about, really, which is also having its own negative repercussions. But really with that, allow us running for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to really continue with more topics. And remember, we shall be summarizing the discussion with the sports, and this is for the sports lovers also to be part of. For now, it's a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We are still continuing with the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV with me, Farish Majid, and I must say it's a great pleasure having you on board, still watching us from wherever you are watching us. I want to say it's a great pleasure. This is Monday, really to start off your day with us, which is something that is so amazing, and this is one reason you should always be part of the show. And you can also be part of the show by really engaging through really generating your feedback through the various feedback generating platforms. Type in there and share with us. And for those of you streaming us online, this is actually where you have the chance to really also share your ideas and really share your insights to what we are discussing here. And now there's hope for the people of Uganda who have been complaining about power prices, who have been complaining about unstable power source. And now the Karuma Dam is actually having something that must excite each and every one of you who have been waiting for this power. And on Tuesday, Uganda launched the last unit of the 6 turbines at the Karuma hydropower plant. And according to information from Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited, this is actually going to be the hope. And really for those who have been waiting for this power, now that the installation sector, which has been really drastically dragged down by this, is actually having the hope now, because really with this, people who have been waiting, and this is for those who have been waiting for this project to be finished, I must say now there's hope for you, because really with this project, definitely so many people are going to be employed. The region is actually going to develop. And remember, one factor that has been dragging that industrialization in this region has been the issue of power, the unstable power source we have been talking about. And now with the connectivity to the national grid, which is with Karuma, that is actually also going to be sold to the neighboring parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and part of this power also will go to South Sudan. And this is actually, this follows the power sale agreement that was signed between these countries recently in Juba, where part of this power is actually going to be sold. And experts say this is actually going to reduce on the cost of power, but despite also its own negative repercussions of the high debt that we have to pay, because people will have to pay this money that was used to really construct this power, that is really power plant that is going to be generated from this dam that is located in Chiradongo, where we also really see now hope. This is where each and everyone needs to have hope now. For those who have been waiting for this power, remember, power it also affects the economy. This is where I must say what you really make of this, and how you think this is going to impact on the economy of this country, and really with this power that is going to be generated, because so many people have been waiting for this power and the whole country. Now, you most welcome as we come back to the final hours of the show, and really we have to also really talk about this, because we cannot exclude power, because one of the cries of this people of the region have been the issue of power. If this power comes, are we seeing change now? Are we going to see the complaints of people not saying that they have been not been having power, and that is the reason they have been dragged down in terms of industrialization? Are we going to see development?
Thank you. The question is it a right one? You have asked, are we going to see development?
Yes.
And automatically the answer is a yes. We have seen a lot of industries being established, or a lot of factories being established in the Western sub-region, but most of them are being dragged down by, that is the unstable power. And most of the industries or the factories, they are of high quality. They need big megawatts, of which the little energy or the little power that we have currently cannot sustain all those factories. And that's why we are seeing them going off and being kicked off, that is from the market. And if you are to get at least a reliable, stable power, that is from the Karuma Power Dam, of which we're expecting a big impact from them, it will be a good one. And one thing, if it is to solve, that is the internal problem within the region, we have seen that is the country at times coming out openly and saying Uganda is having abundance of power that can supply the general country. And all these calls come after people asking themselves, if you're working on the Karuma, and mostly your focus is going to be on the international market, we're talking about giving the power to South Sudan, giving the power to Democratic Republic of Congo, and people are saying we don't have enough electricity or we don't have enough power. But the authorities are saying, no, we have enough power in this country called Uganda. We hope to reap big from the Karuma Power Dam. If they have launched, that is the last session or the last phase, it's a good one, because I've also been seeing promises coming through that before the end of this year, at least people need to get connected to the national grid. It's a good one. And again, I will ask, how prepared are we? What are the kind of investment people are planning? What are the kind of factors people are planning? And are they good ones? it's a good one, and also it will increase on that is employment opportunities. If you are seeing a lot of factories or a lot of farms are coming through, it's a good one. But also dealing with that is international market to bring foreign exchange to the country, Uganda, of which those things can be put into other uses. It can be used to improve on the infrastructures. You know, if one sector is to develop, it doesn't develop alone. It develops with other sectors also. Launching it is a good one. We pray and we hope for the stability, and automatically it will bring some big positive change to the people of West Nile. If you know you are planning a business, you better start it right now, because they are not going to give it to anyhow. There are some attachments which will be required from you. You have to meet the desired qualifications for you to be connected, because it is a big one. They also don't want to see that is cases of short circuits coming through. And one thing, you have to be in an organized place, and your business have to be satisfied. We hope it comes through, and we don't want to see again postponements, because it started some years back. We are going to connect you in this month. People get organized, they prepare themselves. At the end, they get frustrated. It's not a good one. We pray after this launch, let them also supply the region. West Nile, most of the people termed West Nile as a dark region, because we don't have stable power, which is always up and down, left and right. And it has left a lot of people in losses, because once a power is not stable, a lot of equipment will be burnt down, and that is one thing which is causing loss to the business within the region.
All right, summarize the discussion with sports. I must say, coming off from the weekend, we cannot really exclude sports, because this is where we see so many games being played. And now the AFCON did come to a closer, but now these are some of the results I must also really give you in the world of sports. And third place, South Africa did beat, that is DRC, our neighbors, where we expected our neighbors to really win. And so many people are saying, if DRC wins the third place, definitely that achievement will have to pass through Arua, because of our proximity with the neighbors. Really, this is something I must say that did not come to our will, but now I believe next time better, because if DRC won, maybe even if they won the AFCON trophy, definitely we are going to jubilate with them, because really we see now most of these events that are between Uganda and DRC, most of our leaders move here and there. That shows that we are one. And very soon, actually, DRC is going to become a full member of the East African community. This is where we also really see them actually engaging in this. And I must say that was going to be quite good for us. And now we also did see the finals taking place yesterday. And I must say the best team, the hosts, won. And so many people did not believe this. And Nigeria was beaten, that is 2-1. And despite Nigeria scoring the first. And really, I don't know what you make of the AFCON. And I really believe this AFCON was one that was quite interesting, where we did see countries that we are the giants, where we are sleeping down, did rise again to show us what they have. Really, I must say this AFCON was quite good to me. I don't know what you think about it, but yesterday, finally, they did come to a closer. What do you think about maybe the AFCON finals?
It was full of entertainment. AFCONs will always be AFCONs with a lot of tensions. So up to some extent, people almost grabbed their necks, and that shows the intensity and the zeal people had to win the trophy. But one thing which made us proud is our neighbors, Democratic Republic of Congo, going up to the semi-finals. As I've stated clearly, very soon they're going to be, that is, a full part of the East African community. And you all know, next, in 2027, where is the AFCON heading to? It is coming to East Africa. So people were praying that at least if Democratic Republic of Congo was to win that trophy, it will be a big boost, that is, to the East African community. But also, it has set for us a good example. As East Africans, what can we learn from that? We also need to upgrade, that is, from where we are. If you look at the East African countries that participated in the AFCON, it was not in Tanzania, and where did it end? Somewhere very far. So it still means we have to cash, or we have to get some good example from our neighbors, DR Congo. But also, the best team won, that is Ivory Coast. They have the fan base because they're at home. And it is not by surprise. Also, they have their own quality, good players. You know, once you're at home, you'll have the advantages, because all the crowds will be cheering at you. At least do something. We also, when Nigeria took the lead, the facial impressions of the nationals of Ivory Coast, people were almost crying and getting back to winning.
And these are rivals.
The rivals are some of the biggest, that is, countries. We're talking about football, the top teams in Africa, but also the AFCON coming to a closure. It is a good one for all the African continent. It's a good one, and we hope to witness another good event come 2027.
All right, despite the AFCON, we also did see the English Premier League games going on, and where we did see on Saturday Manchester City beating Everton 2-0, where we also did see Everton losing, that is to Bournemouth, 3 goals. That was Fulham beating Bournemouth 3 goals to 1, where we did see Liverpool also beating Burnley 3 goals to 1. We also saw Luton Town losing to Sheffield United 3 goals to 1. Meanwhile, Everton did beat, that is Tottenham Hotspur did beat Brighton 2 goals to 1, and Wolves lost to, that is Brentford, 2 goals to 0. And on Saturday, we also did, on Sunday, we did see Arsenal beating, that is West Ham 6 goals to 0, where we also saw Manchester United beating Aston Villa 2 goals to 1. And these were the results of the game. And despite all this, now the changes have also remained. The teams have remained where they are. The log is still standing. I don't know what you think about the English Premier League. Is it getting too competitive? In just 1 minute, if you can be able to summarize this discussion as we pave way for the Ayolas and News team to come through. In just 30 seconds, please.
Thank you, Parish Majid. My main focus was on the AFCON because for us Africans...
Is it because you're an African?
Yeah, for us, we are advocating for Pan-Africanism. We don't follow much the English Premier League, though it's because of our players getting in and get there, we follow it a bit, but now it's a good one, and seeing those teams winning is good because now we have enemies right from the Premier League, and it is starting right here within the region. After Arsenal winning, they went to witness, that is Manchester United playing against Aston Villa. After the match going 1-1, we saw people almost fought because now the jubilation was getting too much from the Arsenal fans. But at the end, they also had to win, and we have seen things stabilize. It's a good one. We pray things also continue now. AFCON has ended. The players are getting back to the Premier League or to the different leagues. It's a good one, and I can't say who is going to win the league at the end of the season.
All right, with that, we come to a close of today's discussion. In a special way, I want to appreciate each and all of you that watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning. From us to you, it's a goodbye. Have yourselves a good day and a good week at the same time. For now, we sign out.